in the time since then, I sent those quotes to our grant agency just to have them confirm that they were acceptable and there were no issues. They requested that we add a reference to prevailing wages for the labor for the installation onto the quote, and otherwise they didn't have any concerns. So Jeffries and Associates has sent the final quotes over. They're the same monetary value as what we approved before. There are no changes. I think we can move ahead and sign these purchase orders, assuming there's no other questions or concerns from the board. And once we make payment, then we can move ahead to a reimbursement request from the grant agency to get the money back and close out the grant. So we've made good progress with those quotes there. So I did also want to point out with the park that we have some prep work that we need to do down there before delivery. We need to do grading, we need to do some stormwater controls, things that are shown on our design drawings that are outside of the purchase and installation of the equipment itself. So we talked about that briefly, and I think it'd be good for myself and maybe Suzanne and Ken to get together to go over those responsibilities there and make sure we have a site that's ready for the delivery of the equipment when it's purchased and dropped off. So I've given Ken a copy of those drawings before. I think the board has copies of those drawings, so it'd be good to get together and organize on our end, and then also maybe coordinate with the equipment manufacturer and make sure we have everything covered for that project when that equipment arrives. It'll be about probably 10 to 12 weeks once we make the purchase.
In that reference to prevailing wage, is that any pertains to the equipment or?
That's primarily for the installation. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
So the equipment purchase is is a CoStar's purchase, so it's.
Has to be prevailing wage, so we can do the preliminary stuff in-house.
Correct, yeah, outside of the actual purchase and the installation there, I think we can do the rest of the work.
No, I do too, I just didn't know whether your statement would pertain to us using our own people.
No, the rest of the work is considered a local match.
So are you asking for the go-ahead or anything, like, Suzanne's
No,
been the point person, so
yeah.
I'm good with you sticking with her, and she can relate to the board if there's any further needs or anything.
We already
Yeah.
voted on the
Yeah.
purchase price. So
I mean, as far as like what you're doing with the road crew, lay it out and stuff like that, I think she can just probably keep us abreast.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think between Janice and Suzanne and myself and Ken, we can make sure that
Yeah.
we're prepared. So yes, we have grant money. It's just over $70,000. The purchase price is $91,000 and some change. We have a 15% match.
We have the 50,000 that we got back from phase one
Right.
that we dedicated to this project.
Correct. So to utilize the grant money, we're purchasing equipment on CoStars with installation at prevailing wage. So that's the way that will work. Just so everybody's clear.
But all the prep work in house.
Yep, exactly. Okay, so next thing on the list, we met with EQT on Monday. Our office has done the pre-use inspections for the heavy hauling agreements, Dennis. There were 7 of them, 7 roads that they're getting heavy hauling agreements for. So we will finalize those inspection reports and issue the permits for that project. That was my takeaway from that meeting.
I think the gentleman at the very end of the table, the guy that seems somewhat caustic, I think he wanted an updated report. So,
Well, he wasn't sure when it was done, and he was, I
Well, he
noticed
seemed-
that they requested in October. It wasn't, they didn't even, I don't know how well they can inspect them now, they're covered in snow.
well, I know, but he was being somewhat caustic, so.
Maybe send them an email and say the exact dates that you did
Sure.
the inspection, and then throw it in their hands. Is this good
I
to
don't
go
think,
with these dates?
I don't think there's any headache.
You know?
Yeah, I guess I was planning on just submitting the reports that we have. I mean, they made an application, we inspected the road, and I think we can process them, for lack of a word.
think
And
we'll
then
buy that too.
Janice, I believe, has the checks, because we were holding up on processing, so we got a better understanding of the water line, so.
Right.
And we don't, I think we said, I think we just put the checks in there. Also, I looked at the report of conditional use, we analyzed it from our perspective, I don't think we have to go through that process. The
Yeah.
impact is not as great as I thought it was going to be.
I saw your
So-
memo about that.
So I can process the checks?
Well, I don't know if processing the checks for road opening too, or will we come to, there's
No, I
checks
think,
for both things.
no, checks for the, I'm talking about the HHA.
There's also checks for road opening, that's what we're still trying to determine.
In terms of the road cut, we need to have the agreement and the insurance put in place first.
Yep. Okay,
So heavy hauling ones are good.
good. We'll take care of them. Okay, moving through the rest of the engineer's report here.
I'm sorry, but I don't wanna get sleepy.
So MS4, we talked last meeting about the potential rain garden at Cardox Road. So, since our meeting, Mr. Higgins is here tonight. He was, the surveyor who prepared a survey of the Trax farm there, which he shared with me, which shed some light onto the property situation there. So, our conclusion at this point is that it's Mr. Trax's property, not Mr. Cant's property, so Mr. Trax has expressed to us that he's not in favor of the project, and I think it would be beneficial to look at a potential alternate location. So.
Did you get, he said provide you the information?
Yeah, the surveyor who did the Trax Farm
Yeah.
survey provided me a copy,
Okay.
and we verified that where the line is located. So I think that answers that question. We're gonna need to find an alternate location, but probably we can't go with our first option. So just passing that along.
Okay.
And then the only other thing I have to report on, January 15th was last Wednesday. Bankson went to the project briefings for the Washington County local share account grant applications. The board had a couple questions. We answered them pretty straightforward, and I thought the briefings went well. If history is any indication, we'll probably get a grant announcement at some point in February. And along those lines with the grants, I put together a summary of the applications that we made last year for these different grant programs, and I gave a copy to Janice and I gave a copy to all 5 of you, so we should know where we stand in terms of the applications that we.
You still need to find the mitigation request in
Yeah.
Veterans Park.
Yeah, we'll need to add those to the list, Larry. If we have, I can put on what I know about them with, the limited info that we have, but if there's a file here, if Janice wants to add into the
Yeah.
schedule, that'd probably be best.
Diana said it's in her office, the secretary office in some file,
Yeah, I think I know what I'm doing.
There were 2 grants that we applied for, not we, that the township applied for, that Bankson wasn't involved with, so I don't have any details on those, but that's it. The rest of the items that I would like to discuss on the agenda, so I have nothing else, unless there's any questions.